Hello everyone, Kay here. Today I'm bringing a tutorial for this file folder mini album that I posted on the Authentique blog in late December. This is the project that I posted, and the base of this mini album is a file folder. So it has a lightweight chipboard, and it has a little bit under a 3/8 or so inch spine. It's a little bit underneath a 1/2 inch and a 3/8. So it's somewhere around there. It depends on the size of the file folder, which I'll explain later in a tutorial. So this one measures about 6 3/4 inches wide by 8 3/4 inches high. And a quick walkthrough of the album. This is how it opens up, and it has a flap. And on this side, you have 3 pockets, and these are full pockets that can store large tags. Then you have these 2 flips here. These flip down. And you have a pocket here that holds a tag, a 3x4 inch cut apart card that came with the collection. And here's another little pocket that I made. And this can fold up. These I left blank. And here you have an angle pocket with a large tag. And here you have a side pocket with another large tag. And another little cut apart from the collection. It's upside down. And on the side right here, on both sides, you have 2 large pockets that hold these 2 booklets. And I left these blank, so you could store anything you want on those, or you can just not use them at all and just put photos in there. I'm trying to remember the paper collections I've used for this. I mixed 2. I cannot remember right now. I think it was a Magical Christmas and Nostalgia. Don't quote me on that, but I'll put in the description the collections I used for Authentique. So stay tuned for the tutorial on how I made this file folder album. So for the base of the album, I'm using basic folders, and I have 2 samples here of the folders that I'm using. These I got from Staples. These are craft folders. And these I just got from Amazon in black. So they're pretty much around the same size. They're a little off on height a little bit, but I kind of kept the measurements the same, and it looks fine. Doesn't look like there's much of a difference or adjustments that need to be made. So I'm going to put this one aside for now, and I'm going to show you on the craft one because it's easier to see, at least I think so. But this is what we're going to make out of these file folders. This is the base of the album. So it's going to end up looking something like this. And here's your spine, which is about, I made it this time around almost a little bit under 1/2 inch. So the first time I made this album, which is this one right here, I feel like the spine was just not wide enough. It was about 1/4 inch. So this time I wanted to make it bigger. But the rest of the design, I'm following pretty much to a T or exactly alike. I might make some changes here in how I make these large pockets, but for the most part, it's the same. So the measurements. The other tip, when you get your folder, make sure that the back of the folder, it has this tab on the right hand side. So as I was saying, this tab right here should be on the back right hand side. That's your guide. That's where it should be. So you're gonna score. The first way you're gonna score is this way. And you're gonna score at 5 5/8 on both sides, straight down. So you're gonna start here, and you're gonna flip it, do 5 5/8 here. Then you're gonna turn it around so you can do the other side. 5 5/8, flip it, and 5 5/8. And that's creating your spine. The next scoring we're gonna do is gonna be right here. So all these folders come pre-scored. They have their own pre-scoring lines here, but we're only going to use the bottom quarter one. So here's your guide, right? Here's your tab. Right here, the very first 1/4 inch. You're going to put that against this, and then you're going to score right in between that 1/4 inch gusset. All right. And then you're going to go right over the existing score at 1/4 inch. All right. So that's your next score marks. Once you have that scored out, you're going to fold it at the very bottom of that 1/4 inch. So you're going to fold it and burnish it with your bone folder. Again, keeping mindful, your tab in the upper right-hand corner. And you're going to lay it flush. So here's your 1/4, right? With that, also there's a score mark right here at the eighth of an inch. So we're not going to score that yet. You're just going to burnish your 1/4 inch, and you're going to place it flush against the scoreboard right here. So here's your 1/4 gusset, and you place it flush. And then you're going to open this up, keeping it flush, and then you're going to score at 4.5 all the way down. 4.5 inches. If this is a little too difficult, the other trick I use is the trimmer. Sometimes I do use this. It comes out a little bit easier, and I just measure it from, let's see here. It would be from here, right? I'm a little bit off camera there. But I would put my bottom right here, my 1/4 inch, and then I would measure at 4.5 inches, and then I would score right here, all the way down. So that's another way to score, if that's a little easier. And that's all the scoring you're gonna do. So right down the middle, right across here, and then you're gonna redefine one of the pre-scored lines, one of the first 1/4 inch from the bottom. All right. So that's all the scoring. Next, we're gonna trim. So the way you're gonna trim is, and I'm gonna do this manually. So again, this is the bottom base of your, this is what it's supposed to look like, right? So keeping this tab in the bottom, and these guys are gonna fold up, these bottom ones. So we're gonna get rid of this spine right here from the bottom half. So let's see here. I did it this way with one of these T-folders and my knife. And you're gonna cut all the way, I believe it's all the way to the bottom, right? Yep. All the way to the very bottom of the first score line right here. So you're gonna go all the way down. And there you have it. Oh, let me put this back away. Remove this. Okay, so now you should have something that looks like this. So, as you can see, I cut all the way to the very bottom of the base right here. So here are your other pre-scored lines and your little gusset that you created here. I went past that and I went all the way to the bottom. The next step is simply to score. So this is going to close like this. So we're going to score our spine and burnish. Okay. And then this one, this bottom piece right here is going to score up. And that is going to create a pocket right here. This is going to create a pocket. Then you put glue here, wet glue, and then you can just close it right there. And that's going to create a pocket here. So that pocket is already here. You just don't really see it because of the black background, but there's a pocket right here that's created with a little tab right here on top. So you're going to do that, and this one is going to go like this. So you burnish it this way. So it folds up like this. And there you have it. This is really the base of your album. And then all I do is with either a craft or matching cardstock, I add another flip here. So this flips up. So that's what I did here. This is another piece of paper that I adhered. You can see the tab right here where it's adhered to this piece. And it just flips up. And then it flips down, and here's your pocket. All right. And the only other thing to do is, remember how you scored your 1/4 inch right here? Now you can score that 1/8 of an inch because you want it kind of to be a rolling spine. You don't want it to be perfectly square. You kind of want it to kind of roll and lay a little bit flat. So that's why you score that one piece there. And then you do the same on the other side. And that is it. I mean, that is really the base of your album. Everything else is embellishing and adding the covers, which I will come back later to show how that was done. But that's pretty much it. And you have the base of your album. All right. And I will have to figure out about what to do with this because the staples just happen to fall right smack on the on the bind. So to figure out a way to hide that, you know. But us crafters, we come up with ways to do that. All right, so that's it. That is the main part of the base of the album, and I'll be back to finish up the rest of it. All right, and back to show the finishing touches to the base of the album, which is the flaps and the pockets that I had, or that I made for the Christmas one. So let's start with the measurements. Everything is already pre-scored and cut, ready to go. So all I've done so far on the base is I glued this little pocket here. As you can see, there's a little pocket now here. And all I did was put a fine line of wet glue on both sides and adhered it closed. So I got my pocket there. And now this piece measures 5 5/8 by 4 3/8. And on the 5 5/8 side, you're gonna score at 1/2 inch. And then you're gonna fold on the score line and put double-sided tape on this side. And this is gonna go on the other side of the pocket you just created. You're gonna flip that and it's gonna go right here on top. And that's gonna adhere right there. And that's gonna make your other flip, which is, it's gonna match the one on the other side right here. All right. And I used, side note, I used a craft colored cardstock that somewhat matches the craft folders. They're not an exact match, but once you start putting all the designer paper on top, you're barely gonna notice the difference. So that's the one piece. Next is this angled pocket that's gonna go in here on this side. And that measures 6 1/2 inches by 6 5/8 inches. And on the 6 5/8 inch side, I'm gonna score at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So you're gonna leave one side unscored. So I start on the 6 5/8 side, I'm gonna score here, then I flip it in the bottom and then on the other side, and I score 1/2 inch all 3 sides. Then what I do is, to make it an angled pocket, I fold one of the score lines, the side one. From the score line, I measure 2 inches in, and I make a little mark right here, and then I do the same thing at the bottom. Fold the score line in, and from the score line measure 2 inches up, and I make another little mark right here. And then with the trimmer, I trim from the top mark to the bottom mark, and that creates the angle. All right, once that's done, lay it flat, put your double-sided tape, and then you miter the corners so you can fold the tabs in to create your pocket. Same on this side, and I also do it on the top side right here. I just miter it down, and your pocket is ready to be adhered. So this is gonna go like this once you fold it, and it's gonna go right here. And it's gonna be placed right above the score line at the bottom right here. Try not to go over it or else this won't be able to flip up. So right above that little score line right there. That's where that's gonna go adhered. All right, so that's your angle pocket. And finally is the large flip that goes over everything over here, and that's this one right here. And this measures 8 3/4 by 6 1/8. And on the 6 1/8 side, you're gonna score at 1/2 inch and at 5/8 of an inch. So when you score at 1/2 inch and 5/8, it's gonna give you a 1/8 inch gusset, which will help this flap lay flat when you close it over the base of the album. And that is gonna go adhered. Then you put your double-sided tape on a 1/2 inch flap, and you lay it down, and it's gonna go adhered right on this side. So you're gonna align it. Once again, try not to go over the score line. You don't wanna go over it. You wanna be right next to it. And it's gonna go like that. And then this will flip over, all right? And that's it. That's really all the extras in this album that I did. You can do more. I mean, you can come up with waterfall ideas. I tossed around a waterfall concept on this side instead of a pocket, but I ended up following my original design that I did several years back. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna adhere all these flaps and pockets, and that's pretty much it. I'll wrap it up. And there you have it. Now you can say that the base of your album is complete. So there you go. So then this opens up like this. You have this flap that opens up like this. These two fold down. And you have a pocket here. You have another little pocket here. And then these fold up, and you can put more things on both sides. And then that is it. And oh, I just realized that there's actually, did I add it here? No, I didn't. That's why I forgot about it. There's actually one more big pocket that I add over here, isn't there? Yep, and I missed that step. So let me go make the pocket over here, and then we can say we're done. Be right back. Here's the final step, the final pocket, I promise. So what I noticed is, and I said this in the beginning of the tutorial, some of these measurements were a little off. The staples folders are a little, how can I say it? Taller, I guess. Or wider? No, taller. They're a little taller than the black Amazon folders that I found. So I had to adjust the measurements for the side pocket that goes in the back. So my suggestion is whichever folders you use, you will need to adjust the measurements accordingly. All I did was I measured the height. So for the black folders, the height from here to the very first score is 8.5 inches. So to make this pocket for this kind of album, the measurement was 3 1/4 by 9 1/2, because the rule of thumb is, since you're gonna fold a 1/2 inch on 3 sides to make the pocket, you always add that extra 1/2 inch to whatever the height is, and you have to do it on both sides, so that equals 1 inch. So if this is 8 1/2, the height here, you need the 2 1/2 inch tabs, so that would be 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch in here, that's another inch. So that's how I got the 9 1/2 inches in height. For the staples, they're about a 1/2 inch taller. So these measure 9 inches. So that was easier, right? So 9 plus 1 inch is 10 inches. So the pocket that I'm created for the staples folders measures 10 inches by 3 1/4 inches. I made the width of the pocket the same on both folders, so that didn't change. So for this one, it's 10 inches by 3 1/4, scored on a 1/2 inch on 3 sides to form your pocket. And then in order to create this tab right here, I used this envelope punch board. And what I did from here is fold at the score line and measure 2 inches in. Put the score line at the 2 inch mark, punch it out, and do the same on both sides. And that's how I created that large tab in my pocket. And if you want to make it smaller, then just go in more. Or you can make this tab any way you want, or if you don't need to include a tab, you can just leave it flush, just straight down. So, then you have to miter these corners so nothing sticks out on the ends. So that's what I'm doing now. Same down here, so you can fold your tabs easily. Same over here. Oop, those are sticking on because it's got the double-sided glue there already. This double-sided tape there. And then score, and then all you're gonna do is adhere it right above the score mark. Don't go below the score mark. And it's gonna go right there like this. And that's gonna create your side pocket. And there you have it. Now you can say you're done. Here's your pocket, side pocket. So the rest is all decorating and embellishing, which is the fun part. So let me go and start decorating this one. And I dug up an old collection by Authentique called Youngster, the Youngster collection that this came out a few years back. And I love it because it's boy themed. I have a son. I feel there's just not enough boy projects out there. So I'm going to use this paper for this project. And I think it's going to look really cute. So I'll be back to show you the finished product. I figured I'd check in real quick before wrapping it up or showing the completed project. I realized I didn't show the covers of the album. So here are the covers, and I'm almost done, as you can see, with the album. So the covers are made out of lightweight chipboard, and they measure 6 3/4 wide by 9 1/8 inch high. And I just make it 1/8 inch higher than the base of the folder. And I definitely make it over 1 inch wider because it's gonna have these pockets. Here's the finished one. It's gonna have these outside pockets that I'm creating right now, actually. So I need room here for these pockets to go in. So those are the two covers. They measure the same, and all I did was just wrap them with designer paper. And to adhere the covers, which I already did, the front cover I already did, as you can see, and here's the pocket already. You can see there's a big, large pocket over here now. all I do is I create these hinges, as you can see here. And each hinge measures 1 inch wide, every single one of them. And for the 2 side ones, those are the height of your page. So I made these about 5.5, because they don't have to be exact. It's okay if they're a smidge shorter than the actual page itself. So I made 2 5.5s by 1 inch, and I score them in half at 1/2 inch. And then the bottom one is for the height of your album, and that one measures, I believe I made it a smidge under 9 inches. Yep, it's like 8 7/8, like 8 7/8 by 1 inch, and also scored in half. And then what I do is I put double-sided tape on both sides of the scored hinge, and I adhere that flush to both sides. So there's 2 hinges here, and then the bottom hinge. All right, and then once that's there, you adhere it and you make the pocket. So you adhere it to the base of your album, and then once you put the hinges, you adhere the cover like this, and that creates your large pocket on the side, like this one. So I figured I'd show the one side completed so you see what it looks like, and then the other side what it looks like right before I adhere the second cover. All right, so that's how those large pockets are created. And here's the finished product. So I finished it up, I decorated it, and figured I'd give it a really quick walkthrough. As you can see here, opens up, made a little pocket here. This flips open like this, and then you have the 3 pockets here on the side with the large tags. These are full pockets. Then this opens up down. Here is your pocket with a tag, another pocket, and on this side I left these blank. Large side pocket right here, and here's your angle pocket. And then here on the side you have the 2 large pockets. That goes in there, and then you have the other one right here. And that is it. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you found this tutorial inspirational.